We got a lot of rain this year, and when you get a lot of rain, the water rises. And when the water rises, fish swim upstream. And these fish swam upstream until they couldn't swim any farther. Then when the water went down, they were trapped. Some of the fish were trapped up on the concrete, and then some of the fish were trapped below the concrete in a small, shallow pool of water. Along with the larger fish, there were lots of smaller fish also, so it was like a water snake buffet. We did see several water snakes in the area. Here's a wider view of what the fish had to deal with. It was very shallow on the concrete, and then there was a shallow pool just below the concrete, and then after that there was rocks. And then below the rocks there was a large pool, and then the water flowed normally after. I walked down to where the rocks were and took a closer look at just what was going on. And the sight was very unpleasant to see. There were dead fish in quite a few places, and then there were some fish that were still alive but on the rocks. I soon found out that trying to pick up a lively carp with one hand was pretty hard to do. So I had to skip over these two fish and see what else I could find at the moment. Picking up a bass by the lip is a pretty easy thing to do, but a carp is a whole different story. There were some fish that were still alive but very weak on the rocks. Then there were some that were already dead, so I had to do a little triage to decide which ones were savable and which ones weren't. This small bullhead was already dead, as well as a small channel cat nearby and a few other fish. I spotted a green sunfish that was on the rocks and still pretty lively, so I decided to see if I could pick it up. I walked across the rocks to where the water started to flow again. There was a larger pool, and then the water flowed normally after the larger pool, and I was surprised by how many small fish there were in the area. I noticed a large carp that started flopping around, so I decided to see if I could pick it up by putting a finger under the gill plate and my thumb in its mouth. Even though it was pretty weak, it still almost flopped out of my hand. It didn't look like it was doing too well, so I moved it back and forth in the water to get some oxygen to going across its gills, and that seemed to do the trick. I went back and grabbed another green sunfish. Then it was time to put the camera down. I wasn't able to save all the fish that day, but I saved what I could without getting into the water. And an old man walking on rocks on a hot day, surrounded by dead carp, was bound to attract some attention. Most of the water snakes were positioning themselves where all the smaller fish were. Here's a look at just how many small fish there were in the pool that I was transferring the fish to. There were also lots of small minnows and other small fish up on the concrete in very shallow water. There were literally thousands of them. In some areas it looked like a dark shadow in the water, but it was just hundreds and thousands of little fish. If you're just now finding this channel and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Otherwise, like, comment, and share. We'll see you next time.